What?
That voice was just so funny.
Oh, well, it's mine. You want to start the show?
Yeah.
How was your 4th of July, my good friend?
It was pretty awesome. I had a 4-day weekend, kind of balled out. No one was going to show up for work on Monday, so they just canceled it. And I played Zelda for over 20 hours this weekend, and it was probably...
That is not what I expected you to say after using the phrase balled out.
I mean, I sat naked on my couch.
This weekend I pretty much balled out. And by that, I mean I promptly played 20 hours of Zelda, which for you is balling out. So credit where credit's due. That is a good Tom Kelly weekend. But it just threw me off guard a little bit.
I did go to the Ren Fair again, which was fun with Megan.
What is that again?
The Renaissance Fair.
Oh, right.
Or
Gotcha.
Renaissance Festival. I don't know. Sat through a couple.
Did she bring her nettles?
You remembered.
I remember.
They didn't have any herbalism stuff there, but we did sit through 2 like pottery things, like demonstrations. Yeah. This dude was awesome and he was so much fun and he lit on fire and it was just
sounds like a good time to me.
It was a very good time. What about you? Anything? I mean, you had some pretty crazy stuff going on this weekend, right?
Yeah, I took Friday off. I'm off today. We're recording on a Wednesday, so I've had a few days off work. I'm feeling pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to cats, so Jesse and I will be moving in together soon, in about a month's time, as we record this. And I'm allergic to cats, unfortunately. I like her cat. I can't breathe near it, and which is crucial to living. So we took her parents are being really, really cool. Cool might be an oversimplification, but we're long-term storing the cat at their house, I guess. They have 2 outdoor cats and a dog already, so it's not too out of the blue for them. But
sure.
Other than the fact that Jesse's cat, her name is Sansa after the Lord of the Rings. Oh gosh, she's gonna kill me. No, she doesn't care. Game of Thrones, whatever. Character,
okay.
One of the Stark sisters, I believe. I just misspoke. I know the difference between Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. But anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. But the thing's a devil, but I've grown to like it. And it's unfortunate that I'm allergic because I would have been totally fine with it sticking around. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I took a bus from Cleveland to Cincy. Then we drove from Cincy to Fort Smith, Arkansas, where Jesse grew up, near in that area. And we stopped in Memphis, Tennessee on the way there, and Nashville, Tennessee on the way back. It was a long drive, but Memphis and Nashville are pretty cool. I had never been to Nashville before. It was hard to find a bar that didn't have really better than average live music, which was not something I hadn't seen or read about, so I kind of expected that, but it was cool to see in person. It was really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, apparently they have a pretty good, one of the better fireworks shows in the country. We didn't get a chance to see it just because of our schedule, but apparently they have a symphony orchestra along the river playing as one of the bigger shows in the country goes off on the 4th. So might be worth checking out again. Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't see a single firework this year, and I'm not too broken up about it.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, there's something. If I was back in the area, I'd probably wish my sister and brother were around so we could go watch the ones in Lawrence Park. But
right,
yeah, this year, just circumstantially, I don't find myself missing it too much.
Right.
I don't know if it's because of the political climate or what, but I'm not even sure I wore blue or red on the 4th, which usually growing up in Lawrence Park, you get pretty into it, I guess. But not a bad year, all things considered. Road trips are bueno. Nice to get out of your comfort zone and go see some stuff.
So I want to make what you said just a little more significant, because when we started this show back in November, I just moved to Denver. Like, we started recording like the day after I moved here, and you've been in Cleveland for like, was it 2 months or something? 3 months?
It would have been a year in May. So about half a year, I guess. A little more than half a year.
Okay. So at that point, you were still flying to see Jesse in New Mexico.
Yeah, I just listened to the first, like, the intro to because this is for everyone listening.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Aaron. We were going to do a New Year's resolution episode, and I was talking to you about how I had just rented a car because my car had started after I turned it off. You called it zombie car. The zombie car. The car has been resuscitated since, but man, you sounded real sick. You went through like a 10-episode phase where you were just sick.
I was.
And
I
you're
forgot.
sounding a lot better now.
I forgot that I was, but I was like, man, why does my voice sound so weird? Was I mixing it differently? Then I realized I was just super sick.
I don't know. I feel like I've never had an audio track sound the same twice as I go back through and listen to some of these things. So
well, I do change it every time a little bit.
Oh, well, either way. Yeah, so a lot has changed just in the sound of our voices and the circumstances. You are employed, which is good. Right,
but like I just, what I wanted to bring up for people who haven't been listening since that was episode 7, man. I feel like it was the other day. Is that Jessie Nell is in the same state as you, and you will be in the same city as her within a month, and that's just like, I don't know, dude. You've been doing this for like 4 years now or something?
We've been together for 3.5, and we've only been doing distance but it's been a year, so I'm ready to get that over with. I'm not a huge fan. It was interesting to see how we both reacted to that type of circumstance, but test passed. It's time to be over now.
That's super awesome, man. I'm really excited for you. And
thanks. Yeah, Cincinnati's pretty good. Been down there a few times over the past few months, and a couple more, some breakthroughs in the job hunt, but we'll go into that later, maybe in a couple weeks when things get sorted. But things are looking better than they did 10 days ago, and a lot better than they did a month ago.
Awesome. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Speaking of Cincinnati, we did a bonus episode last Friday because I had some like leftover data on our storage plan for the podcast, and two of my friends, Kyle and Kylie from Cincinnati, were on the show and talked about their experiences at E3 and meeting the executives at Nintendo. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you should go back to the episode before this called, it was like Captain Dangerous and Admiral Boogaloo Talk E3. If you like video games, you might want to check it out. Plus, we kind of tease a show that might be coming out in a couple months. So... yeah. Might be.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to pry, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
But also mysterious. Might be. Anyway, that's very cool.
Yes, I mean, I guess...
It's going to be the only good show on this network. No, just kidding.
So I guess before we dive into this, I need to apologize.
Let me rephrase that because I feel bad for Jack and the dudes over at Ad Astra. This is the only bad show on the network is a better way to phrase it.
True. But yeah, I want to apologize to listeners. We are recording at 6:00 Mountain Time. Usually we're recording around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and my neighbors are just stomping away. As soon as we recorded, they decided to take a shower. You can hear the AC humming from outside. It's loud, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah,
feels
you're
nice.
Usually the loud one, so.
Yeah. See what you get when you get me on a day where I'm not working. Everything's quiet. I manufactured what is it called again? Spit screen or whatever?
It is a pop filter, windscreen, pop filter. Whatever.
I took the I had mini rolls of Christmas wrapping paper from Target, like miniature ones, so they're a little more dense, the cardboard parts, and I unrolled them both and I cut them both in half, and I fashioned like kind of a capital I shape and cut a slit in the middle one and just kind of set the hanger that I've had nylon stretched over for the past year, and just kind of rammed it in, and here we are. You got to let me know how it sounds after. I could have done this honestly months ago.
The thing is honestly genius. I'm going to put it in the show notes if you don't mind.
Yeah, don't put it on social, but it's worthy of show notes and probably just that.
Sure. So show notes, if you go either in your podcatcher, you can see the show notes in there with links to it, or elemental.fm/reminiscent/33. If we talk about anything, I don't know, interesting, whatever, we'll put pictures, links. But I think this is, more of a personal episode, so there won't be much in there, but definitely you should check out Pat's pop filter stand. It is, it's beautiful.
I could have been an engineer, man.
Dude, this is nice. I see a lot of duct tape. Looks like hand ripped cardboard or cardboard tubes. Like you didn't even cut it. You ripped it. Is that true, or did you cut?
You sound like I saw a thing on CNN today. I was taking the Greyhound and I stopped in Columbus back to Cleveland. And they were asking Newman, so tell us a little about, was Newman's character supposed to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You're talking to me like I'm some kind of film legend. So is it true? I heard there's a behind the scenes rumor that you didn't use scissors in this. You just ripped it. It's yeah, no, that's true. I mean, hey, this is back in the beginning when we were just starting out, and we had to do what we could, try to make it to sound the best we could, and that was a week to week grind for us back in the day. So, yeah, I just ripped the dang thing, and the rest, as they say, happened.
Well,
but yes, no, I ripped it. It's I'm sorry, I could have bought one a year ago for $15 or whatever, but it's sorry, man. But yeah, this is the resolution checkup episode. We're listening to what we said in January about some of our goals for the year. And Tom, I'm going to start with yours. Yours was to make $50,000, which I don't think I've ever heard anybody just say money as their New Year's resolution, which I thought was ballsy, but also all right, because back then you were still job hunting, so I had to admire the grind attitude there. How is that quest going?
Well, let me just say, just today, just an hour ago, I finished a book by a man named Grant Cardone called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And being average is probably my biggest fear. And when I get into something, I get obsessed. And he had a whole chapter on people, of course, they're mowing lawns right outside my window now. He had a chapter on people who keep themselves in financial mediocrity. And it's because they limit themselves by saying, if I could just make $70,000 a year, if I can just make 50, if I can just make $100,000, why are you stopping there? You're thinking too small. So I just want to say, back when I said that, I didn't have a job. I now have a job where I'm working between 50 and 60 hours a week. And if I was consistently working 55 hours a week, my salary would be around $50,000 a year. And my bank account is still negative. So I really underestimated how expensive, living on your own in a bigger city is. 50 grand if I don't treat myself to anything ever might be okay, but I think that it was too small. I'll probably get around that for this year, which I'm happy about, but I don't want to be trading an insane amount of time for money, right? I want to work just a better job, working less hours.
Smarter, not harder, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to working hard, but this is just stupid, I'm spending 20 hours a week in the car just commuting, and but all that just to say, I'm going to get close to that, but I'm really not happy about it. So, I mean, I might just say I want to double that, Yeah. It's crazy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's already limiting behavior. Odds are stacked against me.
Well, there's a certain amount. I mean, there are studies where there's a certain floor that once you take care of, once you remove a lack of fear of healthcare or food, then if you look at the trajectory of happiness versus income, there's a certain point where it starts to level off. And I forget what the documentary I was watching suggested. It might be around 80. I don't know if that's between a couple or as a person, but something to think about maybe.
Yeah, and it's funny, that guy Grant, again, he cited that and saying that that's just something that people tell lower middle class people to keep them poor. Be afraid of making.
I don't know.
money.
I was reading there's so many differing opinions, so you got to take everything with a grain of salt. I was reading, it was just this goofy book Jesse's dad got for her that I grabbed for the bus ride today. It is about basically how to survive in urban or suburban areas if like a weather disaster were to occur, how to make shelters with heat and things like that. But he starts, the first 3 chapters of the book are all mental and like how to like he's saying you should be physically fit and centered. And he has like the most like simplistic but pretty cool ways to like, and he doesn't even suggest the tips himself. He just references other books the whole but he'll be like, basically, sit down, let yourself sink into the floor, repeat a word, for example, things like that, like, meditation 101, everything 101 types like that. But, he to me, he lays out like from a survival standpoint, like, I don't know, the dudes that are like, that's what they do to keep the class warfare going, bitch. It's like, I don't know. Well, I think there's some truth to once you eliminate certain risks of becoming homeless or becoming sick or becoming hungry. I think, I don't know, I might counter with there's some truth to being able to find it, starting within and then maybe expanding, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, owning a yacht would be probably fun. Maybe it'd be a hassle. I don't fucking know. But I don't know. What do you think?
So I think that definitely there has to be some point where people who are new to the money, right? Like, or even, when you have a lot of money, you start to fake scarcity. What if I lose all of it? So then they start freaking out, thinking like, I need more and I can't spend it and this and that. And he also talked about how that's like really counterproductive too. So I think you have to be in a good mindset and you have to know how to handle the money and how to like, he talks about like when you have the money, you have to be charitable and like not just donate your money, but donate your time and this and that. Like, take advantage of your success by allowing it to flow through other people as well.
Sounds pretty good.
And it was really inspiring, man. Like the dude sounds like a total whack job, but like in the way that I would like someone to be crazy. Like he's just into his work, and it was really inspiring. Sure. And Megan has been getting on my case lately I've always been more of like, I think of it as like being a realist, but I guess it is more like leaning towards pessimism where she's like, well, this house is really cute. And I look at the price and say, well, that's never going to happen. She'd be like, well, don't say that, because then it won't, because you're already limiting yourself. You're not going to allow yourself to be successful if you're saying that you can never get this much money or be able to afford this and that. And he mentioned that too. So I already don't like that I said $50,000 because that's not a lot of money. Especially for, the student loans that I have and the city I live in and stuff. It's got to be more. It's got to be at least double. So,
well, it's good to be goal oriented, but just before we move on, I will say some of that will have to start from within, Tommy, my boy. So you better, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's good to have rules and goals and all. I don't know. Maybe I think we've conflicted more than once in this podcast for the listeners to know where both of us are coming from on this point. But, I think, in short, lesson, you weren't employed when we did this 6 months ago, and you are now making different goals. So to me, I'm going to chalk that in the win column.
Awesome. Cool. So you had, let me find the pictures of yours. You had goals. We weren't calling it resolutions, right? That was written down years ago. And you said that some of them you wanted to continue with and others you didn't. And
okay. It's coming back to me now then.
So the top one here, you already said before we started recording, was to volunteer. And let's talk about that.
Well, I went to a few meetings for the Girls and Boys Club of Cleveland. And they said, because the kids you would be working with, you need to make a year commitment at least to live in the area, which I couldn't do at the time. Obviously, the plan was to meet up with Jesse at some point. So I didn't continue. I'm realizing as I say it now and as you kind of read it out loud that just checking with one organization and not really following up at all, literally, was a flawed way to go about accomplishing the volunteer goals. So there's still 6 months left in the year. We'll see what happens. That was pretty soon after the election and, thinking, what can I do to whatever. But it's been a busy year in other areas of my life, so I'd like to get back on that horse, most definitely. And again, it doesn't have to be just that one organization. It's just for whatever reason at the time, I was kind of dead set on learning more about that.
My sister just started doing that. Not to make you feel bad, but I mean, you also work like weird hours. Like it would be really hard. I feel like, especially specifically that organization, that wouldn't really work out too well.
Yeah, I should have done more research on different ways in different organizations to, do what you can based on what your schedule is. And that's kind of probably where I tripped up. So as we're doing our refocusing here halfway through the year, keep that in mind moving forward.
Yeah. All right.
But yes, no, ultimately, I'm going to mark incomplete just because of the circumstances, because I did go to the meetings at least, I guess. Can we mark it as an incomplete?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's only for my own personal.
There are no failures here.
Well, now I feel bad about it. This particular one. Well, it wasn't even that lofty.
We're only halfway through, so.
True. But you, here's one I remember that you said. You were going to start making music again. Has that happened?
Well, I recorded a song in its entirety, just instrumentals for right now. But just like that one and a lot of unfinished things, and I realized that I just can't do it alone. Like I need a friend to work with on it, and I don't really have any in the city. I reached out to Zach, the theoretical third host of the show, about doing like a harmonica solo on one of the songs. But I was listening to a song, which will actually be my song of the week, that was like really, really inspiring for me to like start making some music again. Like I really want to be able to like play drums though. I'm sick of like programming them just because I'm in an apartment. I want to be able to like actually play and like put some emotion into it. And then, there's other fucking bullshit like my intonation is off, so if I record a guitar, it's really difficult because, it's the right note on the third fret, but it's the wrong note on the fifth one, and it's hard. It's been really difficult, and it's excuses, but I've recorded a little bit, enough to be happy with though, because it's not really my main focus right now. But I have been working on the computer. I've been buying plugins to make recording easier and more fun. So that's
6 months can fly by, man. You were saying just like that, excuses, and I couldn't help but think, not to just make it about me again, but it's weird how fast that can happen. Like one or two compromises, and then half a year has gone by. You're like, oh dang, I wouldn't have otherwise thought about that until the next New Year's if you and I didn't do a show in which we had planned to check back in.
Well, I mean, that's why I wanted to do it. There's a lot of things on both of our lists that we haven't done. So I want to, set us up for success. It's what friends do.
There you go. I mean, I could have, what? I'll take some canned foods down to the food bank or something. It's like the least you can do, right?
It helps, man. I mean,
I suppose so. Anyway.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to your list here. I'm flipping through so many screens on my phone right now. You wanted to make pasta sauce from scratch.
Man. Nope. That's another incomplete / fail.
Man.
I don't know, man. Now I feel like I was being a little ambitious given the fact that there was going to be so much traveling and job searching and a move involved. I feel like pasta sauce is more of the like, I'm not doing any of the things I just mentioned activity. You know what I mean? Like, I really just haven't had time. I'm never at home on the weekends. I'm always either in Erie or Cincinnati, and it has taken a good amount of my focus, as you could probably imagine, to do a full-time job and also be job searching. So,
oh yeah,
I have a feeling we might as well just name a few other ones that are similar to what pasta sauce is. I still want to do it, but.
Well, let me brag real quick.
This isn't a pasta sauce lifestyle.
Okay, well, let me brag for a second. I didn't have pasta sauce on my list, and I made a pasta sauce from scratch.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
It was really good, man. I just texted you a link. It's actually BuzzFeed. It's like 19 simple homemade dishes that'll impress the heck out of your date or something. I'll put a link in the show notes. It's really easy, like stuff, and I made like some kind of. It was like an Alfredo. No, it wasn't. Yeah, I guess it was like an Alfredo sauce. It was a white sauce with like bow tie noodles with like asparagus, and there was like lemon on it. It was like there was only like 6 ingredients, but
Is there a red sauce on there?
there might be. And we mentioned this in the last episode. I'm not a huge fan of red sauce.
Okay, I think that's what I meant.
I see some.
When I wrote mine was one of those like
Sure.
pull the spoon out. I'm an Italian female who's in her 60s. Like you got to take. Well, how's the sauce? But
I definitely do see some red sauces, but maybe not like the traditional like Italian stuff. I'll find you some links,
then
man.
it's bullshit, Tom. It's fucking bullshit.
It was
No,
way
just kidding.
easier.
It's on the list.
Than I thought it would be. So I think you should do it,
Cool.
man. It took like 20 minutes. I think you should do it.
Okay.
Like this month.
All right.
Like right now. Call me back when
I
you're
could
done.
tonight.
Why not?
I don't know, man.
So do you want to knock out a few?
That's not a priority
Right.
at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah, I know.
I don't know. To buy all, I don't know. I could buy a lot of groceries for what it takes to make like a good ass sauce. I am shoestring at the moment. But you're right. It's a couple bucks. I could just go do it.
Do you want to
What do you
knock
need,
out
tomatoes?
Do you want to knock out a few of the other small ones that
Yes.
Is that what you were saying? Okay.
Yeah, just because I didn't foresee at the time when we recorded the last episode, I hadn't had the plan to go to my bosses at my current job and be like, "Can I leave earlier than my contract says?" So I probably said a lot of stuff that would have fallen under the category of boredom activities or something. You know what I mean? Like how to make my life a little more fulfilling because Jesse's half a continent away.
Definitely,
And,
yeah.
I have months at a time to do stuff.
Yeah.
But that has changed for the better.
Good.
But yeah, let's knock out a few ones. Like I know I did not learn Jungle Land on guitar
What is
by Bruce. I know I didn't read the Constitution.
okay. Dude, the Constitution doesn't matter anymore. It is not. It's not real in this administration.
Right. I forget why I originally put that on my list. I think I had read like a few blogs like 4 years ago that was like dumb stuff that you might actually like to put on your resolution, and that one stayed on for some reason.
Sure.
So no pasta sauce.
Passport.
No guitar because I haven't gotten a new guitar yet.
Oh God.
After
man.
I sold my last one in
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is. I do miss it. It's something to do, you know. It's something to take your mind. Something that isn't work or like being social. You know, it's just like a craft to work on a little bit, which I do miss. So Jessie had mentioned in passing that she would get me a cheap acoustic thing for Christmas or something,
Dude,
which would be pretty cool.
I could have found you. I had all these coupons from Guitar Center for 4th of July. Dude, they sell like $80 acoustics. My friend bought one. It was like a $60 acoustic guitar, and it sounded amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They're like Guitar Center has some pretty good deals on like.
So these are all within reach. Let me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this out loud to remind Aaron, who is judging me like a biatch right now. There's still 6 months left, motherfucker. I'm going to do it, and you're going to watch me, and we're going to check in, and it's going to happen. And I will have gotten a new job in the same city as my girlfriend too. So eat it.
Awesome.
But canned food and the volunteer thing, we'll have to make up some rules about what actually qualifies. Because I mean, we'll see. We'll just see. We'll have to see. But pasta sauce, consider it done.
Passport?
Consider it done. Yeah, I'll do it. I haven't yet.
Oh, you haven't
like
yet?
much
Okay.
of the other stuff.
Okay.
That might be the tough one because that's the one that is all these stuff that's. Oh man, I'm glad we checked back in because all this stuff is so fucking easy to do. All these things are just things you just have to just do.
Yeah.
You know. So maybe the first meal Jesse and I have when we move in will be
Ooh.
sauce base that we made together. And maybe my birthday present to myself will be a passport.
Okay. So
And what's the other one I have to do? Oh, get a guitar and learn Jungle Land by Bruce.
yeah. So I mean, what else? SNL album? What's that?
That would have been a project that would have fallen under your new music one.
Okay.
Basically, all it would have meant is making music with you and Zach.
Okay. Yeah, because I see get band back together.
Yeah, it's kind of like as we go on, we remember in parentheses the graduation song or whatever. Like, in parentheses, make music with Zach and Tom, if just as an excuse to visit each other.
Yeah, I mean, Zach and I have talked about like actually making a more conscious effort to like be in the same place at the same time, like at least once a year, right?
Yes.
And I think that needs to happen, like for sure. I only have so many vacation days, you know.
Yeah, I think we all do, which is why the efforts have to be
Right.
You have to be that more vigilant about, one, making pasta sauce, and two, seeing friends legitimately. You know, I think I talked to Doug Salawata the other day. I haven't even thought about Doug for like a minute, and I regretted it as soon as he texted. You know, I was like, oh gosh. What's that? One of my songs of the week was
Vitamin C, the graduation song.
Yeah, you could hear my breath through my makeshift thing. It's bullshit. You made me laugh though. You make me laugh, Campbell. But yeah, so we'll have to up the ante, up the effort, and we'll do like a weekend retreat to the Poconos, and we'll get matching sweaters.
We should go to Zion, man. I mean, you just published that article on the website about top travel places.
Yeah, I do like. Let's do that, dude. Let's fucking glamp, dude.
Ooh. Megan bought a national park pass.
Yeah.
So I could go for
if there's
free
ever
anyway.
time for a yay, I'm gonna yay that.
So I'm excited about that. We can
yay.
we could do any national park in the country.
Nice.
And
Where are you
then-
gonna go first?
I don't know, but what we can do is I'll get in for free, but then we can still split the cost 3 ways, you know? So it'll just be cheaper for everyone. How's that sound?
I'm in. That sounds very good.
Or since I'll be making $100,000, I'll just pay for you guys because it's like nothing to me.
Yay. I'm just gonna be your hype man from here on out, dude.
Yeah.
Prepare to be. Yes. Prepare to be yayed, y'all. That sounds good. Yeah, we could do like I bet the 3 women in all of our lives. No, not that there would be 9, but 1 for each. They would all probably be very okay with the 3 of us gathering at a national park, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
For a little fun in the sun, perhaps.
So
Some frolicking.
is that all of yours? Do you have anything else in there?
Can I retroactively add a few? I mean, damn.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say I at least did
Well,
some
do you want to come back to that after I do my shiz?
I mean, I've said it already. I mean, I've just been working on a new agenda in the meantime.
Okay.
And everyone's aware of it. We've been recording about it.
Yeah.
But if I could pull off what I've recently added and will hopefully accomplish and then still make spaghetti sauce, I feel like I'm doing real well.
So the new things being get a good job in Cincinnati after you move in with your girlfriend of 3.5 years and have the best time of your life, because living with your partner is the best thing you could ever do. And then make pasta sauce and volunteer. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. It's more of a but you know, still in agreement.
All right.
Just putting less stank on it. Just trying to keep it a pro for the
less stank.
the mood. Yeah. Slap that bitch and scratch that itch, my man. No, I don't know what that was. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ike. Jeez.
A lyric from a rap song that was rapped by a white guy. So I mean, fuck. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay, so
Okay, Ike. Did you just call me Ike?
yeah.
I'm Sid. You're Nancy. Oh God, no.
So for my list, I just went back through and listened. It was the first time that I've used Overcast like 2x speed to listen to something. And it's awesome, man. Like, I didn't understand when people did it before because, like, I had 9 hours a day to kill at work, so I would just blast out podcasts. It's like, why would you listen super fast, man? Just enjoy it. But now I get it. Like, I don't have the time I used to anymore. So I listened to the things that I said. My first one was bike more, which I've already biked more than I did last year, but it still hasn't been very much. I think I rode for like 30-some miles one day, 20 another.
I'm gonna say that counts.
Yeah, I mean, I've rode my bike like up to see Megan at work a couple times. It hasn't been much, but dude, I mean, I don't want to go outside when I'm done with work because back then I didn't have a job. I was inside all day. Now I'm outside all day, and it's been like 90, 95 degrees, and on a roof you're looking at like 120 degrees. I just want to get in the air conditioning. So I have done it more than I did last year, and I still like it. But I don't feel so guilty about not doing that one as much. I hope you'll forgive me for that. not going to apologize. Yeah. Okay. So the $50,000 one, too low. I need to aim higher on that. Decent. I said I wanted to get a decent job. While I'm very frustrated,
dude, you are killing all of these.
While I'm very frustrated with my job, and I'm actually planning on applying to three other jobs today. One of them within the same company, which I would love to stay with. I can't do anymore, man. I'm burnt out, and it's just every day is just a nightmare. Because we work alongside like 4 other companies on this huge project we're doing, and they just really make it hard to do our job. And it's less of my company than everything else. And, you know, I don't know. It's just, I'm not down with it anymore. So yeah, something's got to change.
You can just live your life.
I said that I wanted to have 5 shows on the air by the end of the month, 3 of them making money.
End of the year?
By the end of the year. This was super ambitious because, again, back then I wasn't working. I had 18 hours a day to work on this stuff. We now have 3 shows out, and there's going to be a 4th one within the next few months. That's pretty good. I'm thinking that we might be making money on the show that's going to be released like right out of the gate. I'm hoping so. I think it definitely has the potential to, and I think that Ad Astra, the space show, is niche enough where we could probably start reaching out to people for like very small amounts of money with the listeners that we have, but that seems to be growing every single week. So 4 shows rather than 5, nothing is making money. It's costing me about $100 a month just to run the thing. But it's still fun. It's still what I want to do. So either way, I think that this has been a success. It's just not a financial success right now. But that's okay. And speaking of that, I also wanted to have 200 listeners for this show. Our numbers have just dramatically dropped, which is a bummer. I don't mind saying it, you know, on the show if people hear that. Like, out of the gate, we had like 100 downloads on some episodes, 200 on one specifically. And we were pretty consistently in the 50s, 60s, and now it's more like 20 maybe. And that's been a bummer. I don't know. I don't really know. I think we have a good show. I mean, people just don't care. Like, there's 100,000 shows out there. But I would love to, I kind of got away from promoting the hell out of it like I used to because, this was supposed to be the sideshow, and Ad Astra was like supposed to be like the real thing. So it kind of took some attention away from this, and I think that might have had something to do with it.
What were you doing before to promote it?
I was just like on Twitter all day talking to people, just trying to engage with like potential new listeners, current listeners, whatever. And I don't know, the thing with podcast statistics or analytics or whatever you want to call it, it's really hard to tell if anything is even real. Like there was one day that it said we got like, 800 or 900 downloads in one day. And they were like all from the same city, all using Mozilla Firefox as like their device, which there is no way that's real, right? So then,
I don't know.
So then I started questioning, like, is any of this real? Is anyone listening, like, at all? I mean, Matt's the only one who talks to us and actually responds to stuff. So I know we have at least one person listening. But even that, it's... Part of me is like, well, just, stop wasting your time. But that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? I actually, even if no one listened, I still just like talking to you every week.
Yeah, which was the original goal.
Right.
Let the other ones make money, and this was practice time.
Right. I mean, I don't have fun with something unless I'm good at it or like unless I'm winning, whatever. People have criticized me for that my whole life, but I'm just learning to accept it, and I want to be a winner. You know what I mean? So I want more listeners. I don't really know how to reach people because our show is so random every week. I mean, there's weeks that we have no idea what we're going to do going into it, but I listen to plenty of shows like that. So you're at least entertaining. I don't know. There's got to be something we can do. So I really, really, really want to hit that mark.
Well, you said it yourself. You stopped promoting the show, which is good because you had other stuff.
Yeah. So Ad Astra, they're going to be editing their own shows from now on. So that's 8 hours a week that I'll get back, or 8 hours a month that I'll get back. That can go into promoting not only their show, but our show and this and that. So I'm trying to organize things to where I can scale and do the important stuff like promoting stuff rather than doing all like, the work of editing everyone's stuff, which I was happy to do for a while just to make sure they could focus on their content, get their show how they wanted it. But, they're in a good place. They're rolling, they can handle it. So I'm excited about that. That was a huge change that you inspired me to make. And I think that will be good for both of our shows to get more listeners. It's funny because just today I wrote I was going to draft an email actually to Mike Hurley, who is the founder of Relay FM, who Matt and I are both huge fans of. I've been thinking about it for like a year, but I want him to like actually be like my mentor. One of the last things that Grant dude said in his book is like, you need to find a mentor. You need to find someone who's doing what you want to do and learn how to do it like them. And then I was listening to the show. It was like, find mentors. Like, God, that has to be the next thing. I'm also trying to meet up with Mike Rowe again when I'm in LA and see if maybe we can.
When are you going out there?
I'm going out there August 22nd, which is the day after the great North American eclipse. So I'm going to be in Wyoming on the 21st to see eclipse at full totality. And then I will be leaving promptly after that for LA. And I'm stoked. So
very nice.
It's going to be a good time. So I need to find a mentor. I've been making.
You should record with Mike Rowe.
See,
every week.
Every week, yeah. That'd be nice. That'd be really good for numbers. He has Ford as an advertiser, and they have you money, and I want some of it. But I also have make music, kind of a check, need to do a little more of. The next thing was invest, which I actually have plans. My plan right now is to put $3,000 in savings and then save another $2,000 to start investing. So that's in motion. I have about $800 in savings. Well, actually, right now I have nothing because I covered a bunch of rent and bills that I will be getting paid back for. But I have $800 in savings right now, which I feel pretty okay about. I just got about $3,000 in car repairs that are pretty necessary soon. So that's sucks.
The worst.
But speaking of cars, my last thing was to drive a Tesla. And I did that a couple weeks ago, and that's probably out of everything what I'm most excited about.
You were pumped about that. I can't hate on it either. You love Tesla.
Dude, I cried. I legitimately cried getting out of that car because it was such an amazing experience.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till I get to just tell the car to take me to where I was supposed to be driving and fall the asleep.
Dude, it parked. It perpendicular parked for me. I wasn't even in the car.
I'm sure it did.
I wasn't even in the car.
I am all for self-driving cars. I watched a dude. There's so many unnecessary like passes and lane changes when you're on the highway. Everyone, I mean, there's only one in like 80 drivers that are a hazard, but I would definitely trust a robot over any of those exceptions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think I talk about it all the time. CGP Grey is like a huge proponent of autonomous vehicles. And he talks about it a lot on his show, Hello Internet, which I really love. And it's so traffic is a human caused occurrence. If these cars were talking to each other and all moving as a unit rather than everyone else, I'm just trying to get to work on time, there would be no traffic. There would be no red lights. There would be no accidents. It would just, everything would move how it's supposed to. And oh God, I mean, one swerve or one pump of the brakes on the road can cause a jam in that section for like hours after the person just pump their brake check someone, then it starts to change. Oh God, I cannot wait for self-driving cars. I mean, I can't wait until literally driving a car is only legal to do on Sundays as like a recreational thing. Like, I don't want anyone on the road driving themselves.
Are we seeing that in our lifetime, you think?
I don't know about our lifetime, because I feel like it would turn into like a Second Amendment type thing. Like, they're taking our guns. Like, dude, your guns, your car. Let's just, do the – well, I don't know. I've had guns and I have a concealed carry permit, so not quite that. But I don't give a shit if you like think I'd rather drive myself. Bullshit, dude. No one wants to drive themselves. When it's 4 a.m. and you're trying to get to work, do you really want to be the one behind the wheel having to pay attention to everything? No. Drive on Sunday when it's allowed and get the fuck off my road. That's how I feel about it.
Fair enough.
I just had to add a lot of markers to all the swear words in that one. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Well, hey, get ahead of the curve while you can.
Right. So that's and I had blog more, which I was doing like 3 times a week for a couple weeks, and then I got a job and I'm never home. But I did write my first blog post in like 4 months. The other day, and I need to get on that more. I need to be publishing more stuff. I have an article that I've owed a company for like 5 months that I still haven't done yet. I'm really bad at writing.
What do you mean owed it to them?
Huh?
What do you mean owed it to them?
They sent me a watch for free, and in exchange, I was going to write an article for them. So I wear this watch every day, and I absolutely love it. And I've had this thing kind of half written. It's like, honestly, all I need is like a closing paragraph right now, but I'm such a slow writer. I'm not confident in my writing, so I've been holding it off. I need to get that done like this week. I finally published Year 2 things that you wrote. Jack is talking about doing new stuff. I want to write more things. I need more writing. I need more traffic on the website. So definitely blog more. That needs to be a huge thing by the end of the year, throughout the year, the remainder. So
sounds good.
That's where I'm at. I feel pretty good overall, and I think about I feel pretty good about what I've done. And I think, like you said, in regards to your list, you were thinking about filling up your time, but now like huge things are happening. You're definitely I think capable.
Yeah, the
of
priorities have switched a little, and I'm still content with the way I've been using my time. That's not to say I still can't cross a few of mine off, although I am jealous of how you had a mix of productive and like personal and recreational goals and professional. I feel like you had a good mix, and you're on your way to either already completing or completing a lot of them.
Well, I mean, on the same hand, there's a lot of things that I haven't done. I guess a lot of the important things, I've been really bogged down by the hours at this job, and now that I have the laptop, I can like edit on the road and do a lot of stuff on the road, but I'll get home at 7, eat dinner, and then it's time for bed. It's been really, really hard, and I need to be making more money in less time. It's ridiculous, man. I think a 1-to-1 ratio of your time for money isn't the way I want to live my life. I don't want to have to work more in order to get more money. I want to be able to make just more money,
Right.
So yeah, I still...
For what though? To pay off your loans quicker, or?
Well, yeah, I just got sued for $25,000 for being like $200 behind on my student loans. Someone bought that debt, and now they want $25,000 from me by the end of the month. If I was making good money, that wouldn't happen. I owe like $100,000 in loans, which, whatever. My rent's pretty high because I live outside of Denver. I mean, I have, pretty high bills, but I want to be able to like not have to like.
I might send you this book I was reading, dude. It was just talking about like being conscious of your surroundings. Like if you live in certain areas of the country, they're more prone to tornadoes or smog in certain big cities and things like that. And it was just all about like basic survival shit. It'd be interesting for you to read it, like before you thought about like settling in Denver, and what versus outside of Denver, in rural Colorado, or somewhere else.
But no, well,
I'm just saying. Okay, you're going to be tied to that. You're going to be tied to that grind of the highest rent in the country. Not the highest rent in the country, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
Austin, Denver, NYC, LA, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it is high.
You have chosen to enter yourself into that life.
No, it is high. And we were looking at, if we were to buy, there's a place called Evergreen that's like a half an hour away, like more like a mountain town that's a bit cheaper.
Sure.
But I want to own a house.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying these are like, I like this book because it was saying like there are certain things like you can control literally most of the things in your life.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Very little that happens to you is the product of exterior forces.
I totally agree with that.
Anyway, I'm saying you have found something special in Denver, but here we are, and you're making it work. Props, but now you're learning how how to stay and keep it going, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. It's definitely been difficult. It's been really exciting. I'm glad we're here. I mean, I absolutely love this place. You know, Megan just went hiking on a 14,000 foot mountain for a biology class, and she was sending me pictures of it. And it was like, you know, I see the mountains every day and I love seeing them, but seeing the pictures from inside the mountains, it's like even more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Like I never want to be away from the mountains, man. It's like, this is where I want to be. You know, I'll say like forever because that's how I feel now. That's definitely subject to change and would be willing to address that if it does. But I'm very, very happy here. It would be nice to find to stumble on something that's just like really affordable, you know, like our apartment right now is the same price as ours in DC or outside of DC in Arlington. And it's much bigger, much nicer. So it is a bit cheaper here than even what I'm used to, but I was making a little better money back then. So yeah, there's just some things to tighten up, I feel like. And the things that I haven't done, I don't really feel that bad about. So overall, I feel pretty good. And I feel like you just really underestimated how big of a year you could have, you know?
We'll see. Yeah, it's definitely a year I'll look back and be like, well, that was a lot fucking happening. It was kind of interesting just kind of playing house with Jesse this past weekend. I had an extra day off after we got home, and, you know, we just made dinner together and finished up the season of Silicon Valley on HBO that we were watching, and just had a very pleasant evening, you know, and we've been together in the same place for long stretches over the course of the past several years, as you can imagine, but I don't know. I've lived alone. I've lived in a college setting. I've had one roommate, two roommates. You know, this will be the first time my only other roommate is a female. So a new experience on the horizon. So,
dude, it's awesome.
Little interesting. You know, definitely. I haven't had any loose teeth dreams about it yet, but it definitely. I do acknowledge it as like a new big change coming. So
yeah.
Hopefully I can report that, anyway, things change and things happening. It's a little stressful. Day-to-day basis could change how this or that happens. But it is better than, I don't know. Better, I don't know. I've taken calculated risks before, but I've never taken like blind leaps before. So,
well, I did want to move to Denver and I love it. So you're going to love it, dude. I moved in with Megan after like 3 months of dating her. I was just supposed to crash on the couch for a couple weeks. And we've lived together.
Here we are.
What is it? And I think on July 27th, it'll officially be 4 years that we've been like Facebook official, but we were like kind of dating back in May, I think. So we've been together 4 years, living together for over 3.5. You know, I'm not as clean as she is. So there's like obviously arguments about that, but like overall it's awesome, dude. I love it. It is the best.
Nice.
So yeah, just, you know, be cleaner than I am and everything should be fine.
I think I'm probably cleaner than Jesse, to be honest. But
ooh, get ready.
No, just kidding. Just kidding. We're both pretty messy. Just kidding. She's clean. Just kidding. I'm not that. I don't know why I'm making weird small talk jokes. We're best friends. We've already been talking for like an hour. Both average in terms of cleanliness. Okay. Moving on. I don't really have a song this week, unfortunately. Oh, actually, I do.
Well, let's do highlights. Sorry, let's do highlight.
Oh, as opposed to 0, I have 2 nibbles in terms of job prospects.
Ooh, okay.
I won't go into details, but cool stuff could be happening. So, 10 days ago, I called Jesse like, holy, expletive, like I haven't sworn here before, but holy poop, is this really what we wanted to do? Like what the heck? But yeah, 10 days later and things are wildly different, a couple nibbles, a little here, a couple on phone interviews and things like that. So I have a few weeks here to nail some stuff down, and that would be big, very big. So just for peace of mind, and yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah, see,
so yeah, keeping it positive and trying to control what you can control and taking it day by day. That sounds like a dumb bumper sticker, but that is my current frame of mind. So, well,
that's good, man. That's really good to hear. I I was excited to even find 2 job postings on Indeed that even seemed mildly interesting to me. I really slept on one.
Oh, I've applied to like 50 things.
Oh, I'm sure, dude.
Maybe 48 of them seemed interesting, though.
Yeah. So that's good, man. My highlight, I think in the